I have Brother Lee Hall with me, our sister brotherhood station. We're united collaboration where we are knocking it out from the Delta, knocking it out from the Lone Star State. Hall, how you doing today, my man?
Excellent. Thank you. How about yourself?
You doing excellent?
Yes, sir.
Well, you're always doing excellent. This is probably the hardest working man in media, not just SWAC media, but in media all together. Man, what you got going on as we speak right now?
I just got back from a 2-day high school tournament about 2 hours from here. It's New Hope Holiday Classic. They have about 5 games, 4 or 5 games a day. It's excellent. And Mike,
okay, I know.
The highlight of that tournament, the inspiration of that tournament was a team that had 7 players.
Okay.
Girls team had 7 players. And as we were streaming it, I said, well, this is going to be difficult for them here. Because the other team had about 11 players. And when those kids hit the court, it was unbelievable the way they played. I said, well, they're going to have a challenge here. They don't have the size. They don't have the numbers. But something happened. The players didn't realize that they didn't have the size of the numbers. And they probably beat that team by 20 points. A good team now.
Wow.
A good team. So when the game was over, I went and found the coach. Out of all the coaches there, I talked to one. We had 3 from the Delta, and we had others. But I wasn't there to talk to the coaches. But afterward, I had seen with her kids, I had to ask her a question. And the question was, what are you telling them? My question to her was that, do you always play with 7 players? Because I'm thinking that it's the holiday, some kids didn't play. She said, most of the time, I play with 6. She said, I have an 8th grader. I have an 8th grader that I moved up. And they played 6 players throughout the ball game. 6. In the 7th one got in, the 8th grader got in there. The end of the ball game when it was over. Maybe a minute or so when they had taken care of business. I said, the school, because I know about the school called Blue Mountain. I said, where you got this? How long has it been there? There was a child concession stand. She told me. And Blue Mountain. So I asked the coach, I said, how many students at the school? She said, about 300. 300 students at the school from kindergarten to 12th grade.
Okay.
I said, who do y'all play? She said, everybody. I said, what's your record? She said, 15-1.
Wow.
Said, what do you tell them? How do you get them to play that way? She said, first of all, we condition. So we condition. And she said, they believe. These are her words. She said, then, if you believe, she got them believing. She said, if you believe, we're going to stop you. Mike, we're talking about 7, well, she said 6. If you believe, what can stop you? So this 3-8, 4-8, 5-8, 6-8, 7-8, that's good. You got the numbers, but she got some believers on her team. And they won. I can believe that.
Wow.
Well,
I can to a degree of this manner. You and I discuss all the time on how you can't worry about what you don't have. You maximize what you do have to the best of your ability and let the chips fall where they may. Whether it's a 7-man basketball team, a 1-man broadcast team, a 1-man video team, you optimize the opportunities and make the most of them, because it's all about doing your best and expecting the best. So why should that differ on the basketball court?
On the basketball court, numbers and size will make a difference. In football, numbers and size will make a difference. Other team had numbers and size. I think from what I saw out of the team, and you can tell they spent time, a lot of time, with the basketball, a lot of time training. Because you can see some stuff that was clearly designed. Sometimes in sports, you see a person to put forth a first effort to go after the ball, not a second effort. That team put forth the first effort, the second effort, the third effort, until they took that ball from you and going on the other end, making a lift. Oh, that's a good effort. That's not enough for that coach and that team. She got them believing. First effort not good, third not good, fourth not good. It's not good until you take the ball. And they did that time and time again. It frustrated them. And they just hit fakes, pump fakes, ball fakes, all kind of fakes. And they got the shot that they wanted. That was unbelievable.
Wow. And end up being 15-1.
Well, the record is 15-1 now. And that's who y'all play. That's who beat y'all. They said Canton. School down near Jackson called Canton. And apparently they had a pretty good team because they beat them, but she got them thinking. I say, lady named Marva Collins. Marva Collins out of Chicago. Marva Collins Way. She has a book called Marva Collins Way. And she would teach the children that other folks don't want to teach. You can check this out. Other folks don't want to teach because they thought they couldn't get the job. But she would teach them they could go and get some scholarship and go to college. And not only that, I think she was teaching them Chinese or Japanese or some one day, right?
Mm-hmm.
And somebody came in as well. They said, "Wow, that's hard." She said, "I know, but don't tell them."
Mm.
That's hard to do. I know it. Don't tell them it's hard to do because they don't realize it's hard to do. They're just getting it done because she has them believing that they can get it done. And that's what I put my eyes on yesterday. I know all about the possibilities of anything can happen. But until you see it sometime, you won't
mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you know what? I could use that example for what you do, my man. It is so amazing to me, impressive to me, and inspirational for me to watch the body of work that you put in. And we're not doing this as trying to promote and lift up Lee Hall, but the rest of the broadcast world and just the environment and the community that you serve, sometimes they need to really know and understand what it takes to do what you're doing. You're not only doing local high school and Mississippi Valley sports, but you're very entrenched in the political awareness of your community near and abroad. You're really like an activist with a microphone. And I know you don't like to look at it that way, but what's your drive? What's your motivation for that?
We need to exist. We need to be counted. We need a voice. We need a voice. We need to use our voice. Democracy. We do a little talk program here in the Delta. It's called Greenwood Mornings, and we tell folks we thank you for every call you make, every text you make, because what you're doing, you are promoting and supporting democracy. Run the ball. We got to run that ball. We got to shoot that ball. That's important, very important. Politics is too. I saw a couple of supervisors the other day, about 3 of them, right? And I say, and I wish them happy holidays and New Year and all that. I said, well, let me go. This is coming out of a meeting. I said, well, you all are talking politics. I'm talking sports. One supervisor there said, it's all the same. Hey, Mike, it's all the same. I said, I'm just saying, there's a nice phrase, right? But I want to know what did he really mean by that? He said, because at the end of the day, you got to take the shot. You hear me?
Wow.
I said, hey, we got to talk some more about this. At the end of the day, in the game, you got to take the shot. In politics, you got to cast the vote and the right vote and have a reason for it. We said, whoa. And I never heard it like that. And I appreciate that because that's the case. And we can go on and on and on like that about that. And I'll say that to get to this is, and does anybody know? I'm just trying to find out. I don't know. What is the situation with Texas Southern and McNair? Coach McNair from All Point. I heard that he was hired or he wasn't hired. You're closer to it much than I am in every way. What is the situation there now?
Well, the current situation as we speak, it has become a ego tug of war between the Board of Regents and the athletic director, Kevin Granger. December 11th, it was documented that an agreement in principle had come between Granger and McNair. As a result, you would have, the people signed off on the necessary, agreement in principle. And the next step is just usually a following of presenting it to the board, and the board would question any questions, and try to do their due diligence, and they, go ahead and sign off on it if it were, presented, I guess, effectively enough. The situation, from my understanding, that's going on at Texas Southern is you have two of the board members, and if I'm not mistaken, it's an 8 or 9 board membership that are in opposition of the hire. And from my understanding, that is the holdup, which is very odd to me, knowing that I've personally served as an elected board member for 15 years, that you don't always have a unanimous agreement on all things because you have different people with different views. However, if the majority rules say, let's go ahead with it, then you move forward. And, the persons that did not necessarily agree with the move, they understand, they were able to voice and air out their differences, and you move on to the next journey, and then you just monitor, and whenever things come up again, then you address it when that next go-around comes. But from all looking at the evidence that is seen and unseen, the board has, to me, abused their authority, their purpose, and they have a lack of understanding of what they're there for. They're not there to actually hire and fire staff members. You have an athletic director with the expertise of knowing what the athletic department needs to get the desired results for the program, in this case football. You have a proven coach, a well-documented coach, no flaring backgrounds or indiscrepancies that would warrant you not to do this. And sometimes people get caught up in feelings and wanting to flex and create a havoc of a situation that has really become a political nightmare, a public relations nightmare. And it's not only a bad look on Texas Southern, but it's a bad look on HBCUs in general.
I wonder how is this going to affect the football season, you think?
It's already damaged, if you ask me. The question is this. Why, if you're Fred McNair, would you even follow through with this?
I don't know. I wouldn't know the answer to
that. Because what's happening, you do have the support of your athletic director. But if you're going through all these hoops of fire just to get there. What's going to happen when you do get there? And the board not fully supporting, or a couple of, it sounds like some strong arms or bully, for lack of a better term, is running amok or amok on the entire process of what we call democracy.
I guess one. I don't know about the wrangling that they go through to do the hiring, even at any school. A lot of that probably would not come out. I think the reason this is out because at one point in time they said that he was the person that was going to get the job, and it kind of that was out there at one point in time. And the reason this has come to light because it is out there and going back and forth. That's what's bringing attention to this. I don't know if this is not a common occurrence just behind closed doors. And to get back to the question, if he gets the job, then would everybody be on board? I would have to think so and hope so, because at that point in time, the front porch is going to be out there. What are you talking about? I'm saying the sports, the football team is going to be out there, to be out there on display. And I'd like to think that they want everybody on the campus, students, athletes, coaches, the board of regents, and everybody else, but I like to see them do well. So I think this is one of the cases where you get behind closed doors, you wrangle and you fight, and you come out in the public, then we're all on one accord. I would like to think that that's the case if he gets the job.
Yes, well, in most cases, the rumbling and the fight goes behind the scene. Trust me, I've been in many rumbles and fights behind the scene. But once you've done your voting, you've aired out what your concerns are. Once you get the vote, and it's a unanimous vote one way or the other in your favor, then you put on your big boy britches, you get out there, and you stand collectively as a governing body of board of trustees, and you're there for the benefit and the success of the program. Okay. It's not about your pick of the litter, because it's about who do you think is best to fit this position that is available right now and the candidates that we have. Now, they've gone through the process. They invited the man to campus. They met with him on campus. They gave an agreement on principle. You got a huge lawsuit waiting on you if I'm McNair. You know, y'all go ahead, keep the job, but I'm going to get paid one way or the other.
Now, how would that work? How would that work if no contract has been signed?
If no contract,
I said, how would it work? Mm-hmm.
Okay, one thing you got to remember, in the state of Texas in particular, you know, an oral agreement is just like a written agreement.
Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I see. I
yes, sir. Know. And there is proof that on December 11th, there was an agreement in principle signed off by certain parties in the know at Texas Southern, and everything was going smoothly until they got to the Board of Regents, and that's when all this chaos has come out.
Whatever's going on anywhere, you know that somebody is going to know about it, and somebody's going to tell. You recall something had some leaks somewhere around the Supreme Court. Has anything leaked out about what the differences might be for those that are in opposition of his hire?
Well, there's a lot of I guess two factors that are going. There are two alleged board members who are against it, and then the other spoke, or the stick in the spoke is they're wanting the likes of an Andre Johnson, the former Houston Texan wide receiver, to be the head coach.
Okay, so it's nothing that McNair is wanting to do and not wanting to do, that they don't want to bring him to the table. So it's solely about not wanting him at all. Those two are three.
Well, see, and here's the thing. Even if you want Andre Johnson to be your guy, the first thing Andre Johnson needs to do is get his educational requirement piece together. Okay. Allegedly, this man has not even completed his degree process. Okay. So then he doesn't have any coaching experience, and then he has been on record saying he wanted to be the head coach at Texas Southern. Well, I understand all that. I understand your local legend in the city of Houston, but you're not qualified.
Okay.
Other than
the qualification would be, I'm asking, would the qualification be that he would have his educational pieces together? I guess that would be a qualification. But a qualification would not be coaching experience, would it?
No, right. Well, the first step would be at least a bachelor's degree. That's minimum requirement.
Let me ask you: Is that in place?
Yes, from my understanding, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right. So
is it in place with him having a bachelor's degree?
Yeah.
No, according to records and documents, he has not yet completed his degree. Maybe he's in the process of completing his degree. It's a similar case that went on with Deion Sanders. A lot of people are not aware that Deion Sanders was first kicking the tires at Prairie View, but due to the fact that he did not have his educational piece in order, he had to go to Talladega, and he got his degree from Talladega, and then he ended up at Jackson, and the rest is history. So you have a similar situation with.
I know, but for this discussion here, though, they're in the process of trying to hire a coach for the 2024 football season. So
right.
So if those two would like to have him, and would they know at this point in time? I like to think that they would know at this point in time if he has this stuff that we're required to get the job. If that's what they want, if they're saying they want him, then would they know? I like to think they would. If you would like
to think they would, or they could have been under the assumption that he already had it together. Okay, but either way, that is a very minor detail. And you know what could remedy all of this? You hire both of them. Okay, you hire McNair as your head guy, with I guess a special arrangement that this guy Johnson becomes a consultant recruiter or something to that nature until he gets his educational piece in order. And then if that's the desire you want to go, then by means do that. Now, if you're McNair,
if Coach McNair is a head coach, then suppose he would not want that. I'm the head coach.
Oh well, you'd be amazed at the back. You'd be amazed at the backdoor deals that are made, that they'll offer you a job at schools, and I know this for a fact, that they'll offer you a job, but this person has to be on your staff. That happens all the time.
Okay, but if it doesn't happen, folks have to be in agreement with that. One find the coach, but they have to be in agreement to that. It happens for those that want to agree to that. I'm not. You think Johnson? If Johnson has his stuff together, Johnson, if he's a big name in Houston, he should be he might be a big name from other places too. If he's that desirable,
you would think.
That's why I would think that, right? So, but the thing I'm kind of stuck on here when it comes to his qualification and certification to get the job, if that's in place, then get a job at Texas Southern or somewhere else. I was just trying to find out with the situation that's going on in front of us right now as far as Texas Southern and Coach McNair. So someone said that after the stalling for a little bit there, then they thought that he would be hired on Thursday. So it seems that they came back to the table on Thursday with the same thing they left with, meaning that the first time they didn't want him Thursday before that or whenever they met before that. when they came back, they didn't want him back again. Many times in meetings, I like to think also, and I'm never been on the board without of that magnitude, but a lot of times when folks come together to make a decision, they already got the votes in line. Probably come there and didn't have their votes in line to go. They knew what it was going to be before they left the table, before they came to the table, I think. Was it come to the table to make an announcement that he was not going to be the coach? That's what it seems. Yeah, 4, 5, 10 people know. They know what it's going to be when they get to the table.
Right. Well, technically and ethically, there's supposed to not be any pre-discussion before the discussion. But we know how that goes. Wink, wink, right?
We know what. I understand that, but folks don't believe that. So for those who want to pretend that that's the case, we know better than that. Folks talk all the time, unofficially, all the time in everything. We talk about the Supreme Court of the land, too, and stuff leak out and all that kind of stuff. So nobody's gonna believe that at all.
Well, they might not believe it, but I'm just saying that's accordingly the way things are structured to be operating. And
with that though, it's a mockery to say that when it doesn't happen. We know it doesn't.
Oh, no doubt.
They can stop pretending that. You know what? A guy hosted a program one time. I got me a new word, and the new word was he said not politics, but politics. So
politics.
So to move forward here in this real world, I'm gonna borrow his phrase. Let's don't play the politics of it, because folks know about what's take place, and they're just not in the hiring of or Coach McNair or anybody else. But let's try ourselves to be real with the folks that we are supposed to be representing when we say we are representing people, because folks know better.
Right.
And I think we're using this discussion here to talk about a lot of other different things too, but people know better. They know better.
Well, no, all of it, as I say, is fair, especially in what we do. What we do, it's not enough of us doing it, to be quite honest with you. And the ones that are doing it, from my observation, they're doing it for stardom. They're doing it for notoriety and to get their name or quote-unquote brand out there. But I know that what purpose and drives us at the open mic is that it's not enough of us telling our stories in its authentic nature, in its genuine fashion. And I know how you cover the Delta like you do. It's the same thing going on. And it's not about my name in spotlights and my picture all over the place. We want the information to get out there that's going to be important and impactful to the folks within our HBCU circuit, because you can go up and down the media formats, newspaper, radio, TV, cable, video, whatever outlet you choose, and it's not enough of our content out there.
It's not enough of us doing it, for one. What am I talking about? There's not enough black folks doing it. That's what I'm saying. There's not enough of us doing it, for one. That has always been a problem, and it's a problem today. You know what that? What it's like? You know what that is like? That is just like asking Nikki Haley why was the Civil War fought. Did you hear? It's the same thing, Mike. You got to be real here. It's the same thing. It's the same thing, Mike.
Yes,
Mike,
sir.
Mike, did she not know about slavery?
Well, she didn't want to point out the obvious. She wanted to then point out the obvious. Oh, that's what she said now.
Here's a person running for politics, for the presidency, right?
Yes, sir.
And the question was asked, why was it fought? Now she got only way she can get out of this is come back and just tell the truth why she didn't say it. I was playing to my base. That's the only way she can get out of it. I'm trying to get elected, and I was playing to my base. My base won't hear anything about that, Dr. Prince.
Right.
I say that we're talking sports, right? But I talked to a politician the other day. He says all the same.
It's all the same?
So why we can't? Yes. So why we can't say that? Let's just come back and say I planted my base, and they wouldn't like that. That's it.
We're talking right now with Lee Hall from Greenwood Morning Live. Is it Greenwood Live Mornings? I get it confused, Hall. But he's yeah he does this thing daily without hesitation, with a passion, and he has been such an impact on the community. And I don't want to tell his story without him telling, but you had to go through some changes to get where you are right now, huh, brother?
I don't know. Some folks say that. I didn't know. I just thought it was a matter of getting up in the morning time and try to go down the road. They say some changes, but I don't know. I'm not equivocating. I don't know that. I don't know that.
You don't know that you had to go through some serious obstacles and some slander and things of that nature?
Nothing that my mom didn't have to go through, my dad didn't have to go through. Some folks that are much better than me had to go through, much better than me, had to go through. So I would not even complain a little bit about the little life that I had to go through compared to what they had to go through at all. It's just part of it.
Oh, well, it's never about complaining. It's never about complaining, but you adjust to the newest challenge, and you observe it, get what you can get out of it, and you move on down the road. And when you live that manner and live that way, you don't let anything stop you. It may delay you, but it definitely won't stop you. If you were talking to someone, and let's keep it in, I guess, our realm in the world of broadcasting, because there are so many opportunities out there that are gone unnoticed, untapped, because people are focused on a few areas that they think if they get there, then they've arrived. But there's so much available in the world of broadcasting. I tell anyone, if you stand at your front porch right now, within a 20-mile radius, there is something that you could be covering with your own independent network and make a difference in your immediate community. And might I add a little income in your pocket.
Mike, you said 20-mile radius. Mike, you can stand your front porch, and as far as you can see with your natural eye, right? As far as you can see, you can cover so much stuff. As far as you can see, it's more.
Yes, sir.
More than you can get out there.
Yes, sir. So what would you tell a young broadcast journalist, a young person wanting to get into the broadcast business? What advice would you give them, and any steps, if any?
What I would tell them, if you're looking for, most folks choose jobs to make money. You got to get income. You got to eat. And from my experience, not my experience, from what I've seen around, there won't be any money coming to you real quick. Or if it's for a livelihood, real quick, or maybe never, Mike. It's a chance you're taking it. I'll see some folks go to school, come out before they get to change their careers. I've seen outlets, news outlets, television stations, newspapers, hire folks. Folks can't make a living. It's a revolving door. Some get out of it. You find some that are committed to it, they'll do it, and they will, because it's in them, they'll suffer for a lack to see the story and tell the story. To see it, you get to see it, and you get to tell it, and you get to tell the truth about it. See it and tell it. Now that'll get you run off sometime. And that's what we don't have enough of. What you have too often, that folks want to be in the room, right? I want to be in the room. And I do what it takes to stay in the room. Because you start telling the story as it is, they want to run you out of the room. And they would attack you. You know, the motive is always to, if you cut the income off, then you cut the outlets off.
Right.
And you do, Mike. That's why newspapers are suffering. That's why small television stations are suffering, because the advertising dollars are not there. In this case, not that they're not telling the story, but the money's not to get there. So folks can go from weeklies to dailies. From dailies rather to weekly and the bi-weekly, and even out of business. So it's tough. But you have a few that want to get into it. So back to your question, whether I tell them about it, I don't know. I don't even know what I advise them to do it or not.
Well, you stated earlier that it's not enough black folk in particular doing it. So then how do you get them encouraged to do it?
I can't say I can encourage them to. I can tell them what the road could be like, and they can make their decision. It could be tough. Not enough doing it. Never was enough doing it. If you're looking to come out of school with a livelihood on it, it's going to be tough. I don't know what to get that done. But when I see that, I see a person like Jake Tapper, right, who said he has the best on CNN. He said he has the best job in the world to do what a Mike Prince does, ask the tough questions. That's what he said now. I put Mike Prince in. He said the best job in the world.
I don't think he said he'd had Mike with Mike Prince.
No. I interjected Mike Prince, but as a journalist, he said he has the best job in the world.
Yes, sir. Right. I feel that way. I definitely feel that way.
Right. And he said the best job in the world, to ask the leaders the tough questions, he said. Now, some folks got that journalist is the best job in the world. You have some folks being killed for being journalists, right?
Right.
But it takes the best job in the world. They put themselves in danger, put hard hats on, duck down and hide.
Yes, sir.
I don't know what I advise anybody to go into that job or not. I don't know. But I said, go into this.
It's definitely not a glamorous job, but it's a job of gratification. It's a job of really having the determination to see something through, especially if you're trying to stand on the principles and the truth of what the First Amendment is all about. You know what I mean? And not to abuse it. It comes with a responsibility. To me, it's almost like a weapon. Okay? You can put something in the atmosphere, whether it's in print, audio, video format, and it could cause just as much damage as a person walking into a public place and start shooting. Or you can use it for the sake of good, and that same weapon to eliminate the bad guys. So it is definitely, as far as I'm concerned, the greatest position for a man to be in, and still try to put a little food on his table.
I hear you. I understand what you're saying.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yes,
sir.
Yeah, but
it's not for the faint of heart, though. It's not for the faint of heart. That's for sure. Because there are some days when you do wonder, what was I thinking about? And even if you try to quit, it becomes like a magnet that pulls you right back in. And you said, well, this is part of my destiny, and I got to go on and see it through. And when you do it right, it can be lonely. But knowing that it's going to be worth congregational songs say payday coming after a while. Okay. Payday coming after a while. And I ain't necessarily talking about the financial blessing, but if you know that you can help change a culture due to providing the necessary information or the right interview that opened up some eyes here or there and changed people's thinking and direction of moving. You've done your part. Brother Hall, I want to thank you so much for joining in with us, man. And I want to give you some closing thoughts, anything you'd like to share, and we'll wrap this up.
I can't come up with anything to say to close it out. I got to say it all I can say through the interview. I just want to know who's going to be the coach at Texas Southern at the end of the day. I just want to know.
Well,
just out of curiosity, Mike, just out of curiosity, I want to know. I want to know how's it going to work out. That's all I want to know. Nothing behind it.
Well,
I don't know that.
I could tell you this. Somebody will be hired. Who that will be remains to be seen.
Okay.
Hall, thank you so much, my man. Happy New Year to you. And if you didn't know, we love you and appreciate you, man, for all that you do. And thanks for what you do.
Likewise.
All right. That was Brother Lee Hall from Greenwood, Mississippi, with the G Live Network. And man, does an outstanding job, day in and day out. That's going to bring us to the end of this little rap session. We're going to be doing a whole lot more of this for 2024 and beyond. I am the radio guy, Dr. Mike Prince. Thank you guys, as always, for joining in with us. And until the next time, you guys be blessed, and we'll see you on the other side.